So welcome back to Qualified Dropouts episode 5. If you don't know who we are, my name's Asher. This is Ian. This is part 2 of interviewing a multi-millionaire. If you haven't watched part 1, go watch it. But me and Ian started this podcast because we both dropped out of college. We both run six-figure online businesses, and we made this to teach you guys the lessons we have learned throughout our journey of dropping out of college. And the question we left off was, what was your lowest part in your entrepreneurship career? That was a fucking mouthful. Damn. I completed it, though.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
That's a good question. There's definitely a couple. There's definitely been a couple. And there's always new challenges that pop up. I think there was a lot early on that seemed like the end of the world. And then like looking back at them, they weren't that bad. But I think like one that always stands out to me as like the toughest was probably, I got sued one time. That was like super scary because I was like just transitioning into more business stuff. And I got sued by someone who like I really looked up to at the time. And they just like did not like what I was doing. They felt like me also trying to teach people now was like stealing from them. And so I had to like out of nowhere, like first of all I was like, oh my gosh, is everything that I just worked for gonna get shut down? Like is all this for nothing? Like am I like gonna lose like a ton of money? Like it was just very, very stressful. And I remember being like, this is gonna suck if I did all this work and it just gets taken from me because somebody feels like I stepped on their toes or something. So I had to spend a ton of money on like a good lawyer. And this was during a summer shredding. Like I was at summer shredding.
I remember you telling me about this too.
Yeah. And so I am prepping, I think we were prepping 19 people. And we had 19 people in peak week. And we were at Alpha Elite all day long.
This was October, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know this.
yeah. And so I'm on the phone with my lawyers all day long, drafting up like a response email and some contracts and like basically like assimilating proof that like, dude, I'm allowed to teach people how to make money online. Like, no one owns the rights to making money online. And any other, like, people can take exactly what I'm saying and say the same exact thing, and like, I can't sue you for that. Like, it's the same principles. Like, you know, attract, convert, and deliver, right? You attract clients in, you convert them using sales, you deliver them using like a fulfillment process or community. Anyone can teach that. Anyone can tell someone how to, oh, here's like the best way to sell on the phone. But at the time, I was like, can they? Like maybe you can't. Maybe I'm gonna get sued and go out of business and stuff. And like the guy who sued me was very intense about it. Like just very like F you. Like I'm gonna bury you. Like
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, like I wasn't ready for it. And so that like I was pretty nervous. And then it was at a super stressful time in the business, and a super stressful time like being at summer shredding, like dealing with all this stuff. So I'm like, I've got 19 people who I'm peaking with Chris for a show. That's tomorrow, and I have to deal with this now. Yeah. And so in the back of my head, I was just like, it was just so many things at once that I remember being like, man, I just want to walk away. Like, I just want to be done with this. Like, I don't want to have to deal with this. And I remember I went outside, I sat under the track at the old Alpha Elite gym. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Nice. But I went outside, I got on the phone, I sat under this, like the old ramp at the Alpha Elite gym. I was just on my phone for 2 hours, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to find a solution. And I was just like, I can either like bitch and moan and like get upset about this and be like, dude, like I can't believe like this happened. And it was so much to process at once because it was like so much stress, someone I really respected and looked up to doing this to me, feeling just completely cut off from everything, all my support systems, everything. And so I was just like, okay, I got to like, now's my time. Like I've got to man up. Like this is my challenge. This is like going to be a defining moment that I'll probably look back on one day. And I can either like be like, oh, this is a story I tell when it's like, oh, here's how I quit and now I work a job and like here's my sob story. Or I can be like, dude, here's one of the biggest things I overcame and figured out a solution to, and I literally knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So I got on a call with one of my lawyers. We started figuring it out, and it ended up we resolved it within like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We were able to just send them some messages, and they just dropped it. We basically gave them such strong proof that like there's no copyright infringement here. There's nothing you can say that we took that's specifically yours. And even just we restructured a bit of like what we were doing to make sure that it was just a completely different product.
Yeah.
Even in like a completely different niche at this point. But yeah, that was really scary. And I think for me, it was the biggest point where I felt like I might just throw in the towel and quit.
So like, why did that person feel like you copied them? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah. So I had learned a lot from them, and I literally reached out to them one time and I offered them equity in the company. I said, hey, like, you inspired me to help a lot of people, and like the stuff I learned from you helped me learn a ton, and I want to go on to teach that to people because so many people are asking me now how I'm doing this. And I was like, but I feel like you helped me so much. Like, can I offer you like 10% of the company? And he got really pissed at me, super pissed at me, kicked me out of like all the groups and stuff that I was in with him, and just blocked me on everything. And I was just like, damn, like, well, that didn't go the way I thought. I thought I was like extending like an olive branch, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna help like spread the good word. Like, I'll even give you a percentage of it. You don't have to do any work. And like, it'll just be this passive stream. And if I grow it, like, you get 10% of it for doing nothing except, helping me learn these different things earlier in my life that now I'm gonna help teach other people.
That'd be like, I guess it'd be like you suing us for doing online coaching and learning from you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then selling coaching to somebody else and be like,
Yeah. Like, and I
That's
don't do that. Like,
crazy.
we literally have people in our program, like Corey Van Dorn, sells coaching. Like, he teaches other coaches how to coach.
Yeah.
And I told him, dude, he asked me too. He's like, would that be a problem? I said, no, dude, if anything, I'm like, I'll give you a really big commission if you teach these guys and they get so good they want to come up into our upper level program.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'll give you an affiliate code for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't see an issue with it. I think it's great. I think it's going to only create more success in the industry. And it's like, we have a common saying. It's like collaboration over competition. That's like my number one belief. Is like, there's so much success and abundance around. Like, when we look at each other like, oh, you're a direct competition to me. It's like, no, it's like you're two people who are probably like more similar than 99.99% of like the world.
Yeah.
Like, why are you competing with each other when you can collaborate and like get so much growth?
yeah. And realistically, there's so many people in the world that you're never going to run out of leads. And there's never going to be too much, like, you're never going to hit that, like, just cap where it's like, oh, that company's stealing my clients. And
Yeah,
like,
it's
you're going to
just
run
not.
it through so many other people. But I think that also goes back to, like, what we talked about in the last episode of, like, your purpose and like of helping people, and if now you're literally giving people this information to then they can then change so many other people's lives, and then it trickles down throughout the world. And I've like talked to people about how do they, like, they ask me, like, Ian, how do you start online coaching? How do you do this? I'm like, dude, just do this and this and this. Do I think they need to join our mentorship? 100%. But I'm
One girl.
who? Oh yeah. Now, oh man, that is a
She's a bitch. Damn, I hope she sees this shit. You're a bitch.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
we're not gonna name any names, but we've helped people for free. Like, we've helped people like set up, explain everything, and that would basically be like you suing us for helping them. Like, hey, you should do this to set up your
Imagine you
coaching.
suing us for us helping someone for free.
Yeah. It's like, I would never do that. And then it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I learned these things from someone who learned them from someone who learned them from someone who learned from like someone in the 50s before the internet was around.
Yeah.
Like, these topics aren't new. So anyone trying to like lay claim to them now, I just think it's silly.
I think if anything, it's just people learning how to do it better and then reselling it as a better program, so you don't have to do all the bullshit they did back then.
Like, target it to a more specific niche,
Yeah.
update things so that they're more current. Like, a sales script from the 80s will be different than a sales script now. It's on a different platform, to a different audience, to a different culture. Like,
Yeah.
but it's the same process, right? People have been selling stuff forever.
I couldn't even imagine that stress they had.
It was, yeah.
I was stressed that my client was gonna be late to his show and I was about to throw up. I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, dude, I was like, damn, I'm prepping 19 guys and I might be like going to fly to court to
Dang.
like get my company
And
taken from me and
I'm
get
curious,
sued.
Did you like tell Maria? Were you guys like in communication?
Oh, we worked
about it?
together on it. Yeah, we worked
Yeah.
together. We used our shared lawyer team to like, get the process done. So, we kind of pooled our assets together to work on it. But yeah, she helped me out a lot with it. So it was good.
That's crazy. That's crazy. If they were like, were they just trying to take everything from you?
Yeah, it was like a full-on cease and desist. It was like, you need to shut down your company immediately or we'll sue you for all your assets and all your earnings.
Holy,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
insane.
But
then
the
it-
craziest part was it was going to be a company that I ended up having zero like equity in. So
Yeah, that's damn. It gets even better. Damn. So now that we got over the hard part, what's like the best, like the highest of the high, like you just achieved? It's just a really great time, and like what you've. Like,
I've
the main reason why people should go in entrepreneurship or
Yeah.
really pursue their dream or really achieve something.
I mean, there's definitely a couple of them. Like I remember my first sale being huge, where it was like, dude, proof of concept, right? Like I was like, oh my gosh, I just sold someone over the phone for something I created online. That's insane. And it's like I did that, and I'm like, I can do that 100 more times. Like now that I did that, it's like I can go out and do that 100 more times. I can do it 1,000 more times. So that was huge. I think recently, like just like Hustle Smarter itself, like I'm super proud of that. Like being able to like take a large group of people, like 200 people we worked with, and watch like a select few really, really rise, and then be able to like reach out personally to them and be like, hey, like I want to handpick you to be in this like beta testing group for this higher program and like help us like fine tune it and get it running. You know, that was really, really cool because I was like, I just essentially was able to take people who had a dream, make that dream a reality, and then help them partner up with me and make an even bigger reality come to life. And I realized, okay, now there's this whole idea that opened up my mind of like, I can like stack talent. Like I can help people become their best selves. And then, you know, if you treat them the right way and, you know, you're respectful of them as a business owner, respectful of them as a person, you can give them offers and opportunities where it's like, hey, if you want to give back and like work with my company, if you want to, you know, go even higher and work at a higher level, like you have these options and it's going to make you more successful and then it'll make more people more successful. And I was like, we could create an ecosystem that like eventually down the road, right, an e-learning space that completely revolutionizes the way that we learn things today and provide opportunities that people don't even know exist. And so that was huge for me. Like when we started Hustle Smart, I was like, wow, this is really like, I could grow this to obviously like really high figures, but also just like impact. Like we could change the way that people, like kids, especially young kids, like young kids view education. Like I don't have to go to college. I can start going through one of these online classes, online schools, and learn hard skills outside of like the normal collegiate path that could actually allow me to have my own companies and start my own things.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really something cool. It's about to be something really, really cool.
Yeah, I
in
know.
the
So it's
future.
always a work in progress.
Yeah. So for someone, because I bet a lot of people who watch this obviously are like thinking about dropping out of college. Even the people in my Discord, they're like just now graduating high school, some of them, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, can you give me some advice? So like for you, if someone coming out of high school or even in college, he's going crazy. My dog is going apeshit. So for someone coming out of high school or just dropped out of college or thinking about dropping out of college, so for someone that just came out of high school, doesn't want to go to college, or just dropped out of college, or even graduated college that doesn't want to work a 9 to 5, what is just like the best like one-liner piece of advice for someone that has no support by anyone that wants to chase something but doesn't know where to start?
Just start. Yeah. It's really as simple as, first of all, like I would frame it, like mindset wise, if you're in high school, you're in college, and you're getting ready to go to college out of high school, you've been in college for a while, think of it as a gap year. Don't think of it as I'm dropping out or I'm quitting. Think of it as I'm taking a gap year to see if this is a better option than continuing college or starting college. That way you give yourself the grace to go back if it's not for you, because entrepreneurship's not for everyone. Then the second framework is expect to work much, much harder than you're working in college. College is a breeze. College is extremely easy. It's extremely structured. You do not have to do a lot of work. And if you think you're doing a lot of work, then maybe you're not cut out for entrepreneurship, because you will be doing twice the amount of work. And if you really want to see growth and you want to be successful, like literally, I think it's something like only like 95% of businesses fail in the first 2 years. Yeah. And then of those 5% that scale, I think it's something like only 7 or 8% will ever make $1 million. Yeah. So if you really want to be successful, realize that you need to outwork everybody.
Scares my ass.
Yeah. Like if people are taking normal actions around you and you're acting like them, you're not going to be successful. Yeah. So you have to know like, hey, I'm taking a gap year and it's not a vacation. I'm going to be working my ass off. Yeah. Like sun up to sundown. Like even to this day, my average day is 14 hours. Yeah. I'm not sitting on a beach sipping margaritas. Yeah. Like I'm growing stuff. I'm building my business. I'm building the empire. Like I'm not, sitting behind the walls. I'm building the walls of the empire right now. Yeah. And so if you come into it thinking it's going to be easy, thinking it's quick money, you're not going to last. Yeah. But if you come into it with a mindset of I'm going to outwork myself every single day. Like every single day I'm going to be working harder than I did yesterday. I'm going to become more efficient. I'm going to become better. I'm going to learn more. And you act like a sponge and just take in as much information as you can. Learn everything you can about social media, everything you can about sales, everything you can about mindset. Read books and listen to podcasts over music and TV. If you start implementing these things, you will expand your brain to a position where you can act as an entrepreneur, but you have to do a lot of work to get there. So if you frame it that way, and then you take it as a gap year, and you really dedicate 365 days, like not 5 days a week, 7 days a week for 365 days to a single goal, you'll make it. Yeah, and
it's
the goal will
likely
likely
really
change.
hard to fail if you're doing that. If you're doing that much, it's going to be really hard to fail.
And the thing too is like, you'll write out goals, and everything you write on that piece of paper will be different after
Yeah.
9 months.
Yeah.
Like, you will think you know what you want to do or have an idea of what you want to do. It will change,
That's what happened with
but you'll
us.
keep moving forward. Like, you'll be like, oh, dude, I want to be a graphic designer. Then the next thing you know, you're like, oh, well, maybe I want to like get into sales. And you're like, well, hey, my sales are doing really well. Maybe I want to sell a course. And like,
Yeah.
and you'll just bounce back and forth from things until you find that thing that's truly you. But the whole
Yeah.
point is you want to keep making forward progress, keep developing your skill sets in all those different areas. That's how you're going to make it as an entrepreneur. So if you're a young kid and you're thinking of doing this, like, come at it with tenacity.
Yeah.
Because if you come at it passively, you won't make it. And then just think of it as a gap year. Like, give yourself the grace to go back. It is not for everybody.
Yeah.
So you might just figure out, like, dude, like, I like security, I like routine, I like structure, and this just simply isn't for me. The chaos of starting something on my own and building my own structure and building my own routine from the
Yeah.
ground up is not what I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
But push yourself.
No, the start is the craziest. The start's the most fun. Shit, dude. Like, my desk at my house, at my parents' house, was in a sunroom, and my desk was a fucking stack full of books. That was my desk. My laptop sat on there, and I had a desk chair. My desk was books. It's crazy.
Dude, like when
So much fun, too.
I loved it because I like had my office was my bedroom as well, and I would go cook breakfast, and I would just that was my dining room table too. Like literally I ate, and I was just on my desktop like doing everything, working, creating new content, and going to the gym, and then coming back to doing the exact same thing. But I also like I now have the mindset because I like bring up like that like let me think that fact about 2 years, like after 2 years, like
Yeah.
most businesses don't make it. It's so true, and I feel like a lot of people think that, oh, I did it for 3 months and I
Dude,
quit, right?
we've seen it.
And it's like, and they'll see
We
some
see it
success
so
and they see
much.
it drop, and then they just give up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck? And like, why don't you just have the mindset of just like
Yeah.
I'm not giving up. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had horrible months where I'm terrified, but I was like, I'm not going to give up, because I always refer back to, all right, I've already made, sales before online. Like, I've
Yeah.
already done it. Like, I've
Yeah.
already made money from it. So what's preventing me from doing it again and again and again and again and again until it's like sustainable? So it's like giving up. I think once you find you can make money from online or your business, how are you going to tell yourself like, oh, I'm going to give up now and just stop completely? Like, I don't get that. I don't know why people think there's like a cap or a limit,
Yeah.
because I think one of the coolest things Alex Hormozy said was, he was like talking about one of his friends, like, dude, I think I just like hit my cap or my limit. I'm not getting any more reach. He's like, okay, what's your market like cap? And it was like, the market for that specific niche or whatever was like a couple $1 billion. He's like, oh, you're doing couple $1 billion a year in sales? And he's like, well, no. He's like, so then you're not your cap. You're just not marketing properly. You're just not doing it properly. And it's so true, because I think a lot of people, for online coaching, they think there's so many online coaches out there. It's just too washed out. Like, it's just like too, like
There's not a lot of online coaches.
There are not a
There's
lot of
not.
true online coaches. Yes, there's people that put it in their bio because they think people are going to come to them, but it's not true. And I realized the more we like got into Houston, there's a select few online coaches.
Everyone we meet is an online coach, and they're like, dude, how's your business doing? We're like, it's doing pretty well.
And some people came and managed 10 people.
Yeah.
And imagine if you have 10,000 followers. How many true online coaches do you know that have more than 10 clients? Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that many people, and it's like you probably don't know more people to be able to coach all your followers. Like, that's just it. Like, there's not that many people out there that are true online coaches. And that's what I kind of realized. That was weird. A plastic bag just fell from the top.
Really?
Yeah, that was really weird.
Oh, maybe a ghost.
Yeah, maybe.
So obviously, one thing in college, especially, is like who you surround yourself with. Is probably the biggest thing, especially in entrepreneurship world, because I'll just be frank with everyone on here. Me and Ian don't hang out with losers. I'll just be honest. We really don't hang out with losers who drink and party and smoke, because if you're just doing that, you're really just setting yourself up for failure. So in a college world like that, how would you find the proper group to do that? Because business classes, they're still going out and drinking and doing all that, not really focusing on stuff. So do you think it would be smarter for them to just be themselves, lock themselves in the room, and then drop out or do that? Or you think it would be better for them to maybe find a group? And if so, how do you think that they could find a group?
I think it's hard. Yeah. I mean, there's there's not a nice answer to this. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a lonely fucking path.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning. If you want to do more and you want to get out of college and you're in college with a bunch of kids who don't, you have no friends there. You have no one
Yeah.
with something in common. So lock yourself in your room, do your work. And then what I have found is when you really get into your zone and you're just, this is my fucking goal and I'm not stopping until I hit that. Even if that means like I'm working till midnight tonight and then I'm getting up at 5 a.m. for my workout and I'm doing that again the next day and again the next day. I would rather you run out of hours in the day than go to sleep if you're trying to hit a goal.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying, hey, I'm booking like 3 sales calls today and you're at 2, don't go to bed.
Yeah.
Fucking book that call, even if it's you're DMing people and working until 3. And everyone's like, oh, that's not sustainable. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But if you want to get to where it's sustainable, you've got to put in that work. If you're going to earn it that way.
Yeah.
And so if you go down this road, like there's just some hard fucking truths. Like
Yeah.
it's lonely at the beginning.
Yeah. Super lonely.
And then you're going to prove to yourself you can do this. And then all your friends are going to come back and want to be cool with you.
Yeah.
And you have to say no.
Yeah.
You're going to lose a lot of fucking people. A lot of people. And here's the worst part, is that doesn't fucking change no matter how high you go.
Yeah.
You will get higher and you will meet more people. And you will meet people in your industry. And you will become friends with them and you'll get close with them. And then as you continue to ascend, you will have to shed those people once again.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest fucking thing to do and it hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't make friends with people. And I'm not saying don't, have like really good connections and network. But know that if you're actually going to make it, it is very unlikely that you're bringing up an entire team of people around you with you. It's
Yeah.
very rare.
Yeah.
So if you want to be surrounded by other people like you, pay money and join a mastermind.
Yeah.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in these circles. Because when I go out and I talk to some of my quote unquote, I don't want to say loser friends, but I've got a couple of friends who they're just not entrepreneurs. And I'll hang out with them maybe once or twice a month. When I go out with them, I can't talk about stuff. The other days of the week, I'm in my room working. The only time I get to talk about things that are relatable to me is when I'm talking to my mastermind groups. When I'm talking to other people doing my stuff. That's where my true friends are.
Yeah.
And I pay good money for that. I pay, like I said in the last podcast, I pay over $10,000 a month in being in different masterminds and coaching programs.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to network. It gives me answers to questions I need, and it also gives me relationships and friends and people who are similar. But on your way up, you will lose people, then you'll gain people, then you'll lose people again. And it's a vicious cycle. And, do your best to hold on to as many as you can, but understand the stark reality that you might be the 1%. Hopefully you are. You're the 1% of the 1% that makes it to the top, but that means the guy to your right is probably not going to make it to. And you can try your best to pull them up, but it's not on you to bring them up with you. It's on them.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's lonely.
That's so true. That's so true because man. Well, yeah. Fuck. I know for both of us, dude, the friends we've lost, and even now, some people we'll talk to at the gym, we'll try and help them, and it's oh man, they have that one little tweak in their mindset. It's damn, bro, I've been there, and if you just change that
Limiting
one thing,
beliefs, dude. That's a whole topic.
Yeah.
Before we dive into that, though, because I know that's just a whole.
And then
separate thing. And it's we see it now, and when somebody brings up your limiting belief, just trust it and believe it, especially if somebody who is maybe one step further ahead of you. Now, if it's somebody else that's a loser and has $0 and isn't doing a business,
I mean,
sure.
you just can't listen to poor
I wouldn't say
people.
loser,
That's
but
just- you can't listen to poor people.
but-
You can't.
But somebody who's more knowledgeable than you and makes more money and is a step further, listen to it. It is a limiting belief, and that's what's holding you back. But to go back to losing friends and stuff, it's so true. I have core friends back in my hometown for sure. That
So do
I
I.
go back, and it's kind of you're friends. I love going back to them, just talking. They ask me how I'm doing. We catch up, and it's my lifelong friends that I'll have forever that have known me, and they know me as Ian and not as Ian entrepreneur or a coach or I'm trying to achieve my career. It's Ian as in outside of that fun, let's hang out and all that. And so I think I have some people like that, but I've lost people or people made fun of me, especially when I made my first fitness account. I made fun of always. I was the misfit in my freaking town. People, when I really started posting about it, people were just oh, it's iNottage Fit, making fun of me. And I'm okay, whatever, I guess it's kind of funny. And then I did a bodybuilding show, and so many people then would post about it. Or be oh, congrats, or reach out to me. And I'm just
It's
I appreciate. I appreciate it. I really do. Appreciate you tell me congrats, but it's man, it's kind of weird because I don't know. You were so not supportive of what I was doing, and those are the friends that you lose. It's the people who when you actually, if you tell somebody your dream and your goal, see who reacts around you and who tells you what. If somebody doubts you and tells you, oh, it makes fun of you for it, that's not your friend. And
Yeah.
5 years from now, if you pursue your dream, you're never going to talk to him again. And that's the hard, that's the
I'm
hard
telling
truth.
you, the guy who says go for it, he's going to be the guy where you're on your fucking yacht and you're going to invite him because he's going to be checking up on you. I have 2 friends back at home that do that. They
Yeah.
told me to go for it, and they check on me like every single month. And I mean, they're probably listening, and like we still check in, and like in the future, I mean, they're going to be with me.
Yeah.
But you have those couple friends, but the people that are like, oh, dude, that's like not achievable. Cut them off. They're poor and losers. That's it. Seriously. Like, that's just it. If they say it's not possible, dude, that's just.
They're just not in for the entrepreneur life.
Yeah.
Like Will said, like not everybody's for it. I believe that. And
It
so
doesn't like make them a bad person either.
No, it doesn't make them a bad
It's just their
person at all.
mindset's different.
Yeah.
Like what they want, where they want to be, and how comfortable they want to be. They don't want to get uncomfortable, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we need people.
However, you can't keep them in your life because that's just going to bring you down. But
if you truly want to do it,
Yeah,
like if you
exactly.
truly want to
Yeah.
do it, you're gonna have to cut it, and it is pretty hard. But after prep, during prep, kind of taught me to not give a fuck about anybody or anything. Like my mentality was like, I don't care. Like people would taunt me with food and just like, it was like so annoying. And like, really? Like I work at Chick-fil-A and like you're taunting me with food and I just want to kill you. Like I was miserable and I still have to do my cardio tonight. Fuck you. But it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just cut people off. And
Yeah.
I just learned that. I was like, I locked myself within my room and I just worked and I started making sales. And then I was going to move back in with my parents and they're like, okay. And they saw it like, oh, wow, they're super supportive. Like they saw the money. And I know this would be a good topic to talk about.
Yeah.
But they're like, now they became supportive of it because your parents are not going to understand it. And if you rely on your parents to give you that motivation and that drive, support you, they're not going to. That's
Yeah.
facts. Like they're just not going to. Once in a while, one
Yeah.
parent might just because they're awesome. But
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
I just want to say one thing real quick. You guys know Robbie?
Yeah.
The guy from Knoxville. He's one of my day ones. He's probably watching this Potter. So I've been kind of mentoring him a little bit. And he was on the same path as me, as kind of like his parents just not really being so supportive of it. And the harsh reality, I was like, well, dude, why would they support you? And he was like, well, they're my parents. And I'm like, well, dude, but you haven't done anything yet. You haven't made a sale. You haven't made money. So, like, they're not going to support you until they actually see it. And it's crazy because when I said that, this was, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, that really stuck with him. He's like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, why would they support me? Like, I haven't really done I just talk about it. And I'm like, so you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
So it's funny because he's, just been straight grinding because his mom's like, if you don't, make anything happen, I'm going to force you to go to college. And, I mean, he's made he has clients now, and, he's building. It's going to be cool. So maybe one day we'll see him in Hustle Smarter.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's one of those things. It comes back to just fucking earn it.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask for shit.
Yeah.
Don't ask for handouts. Don't think that you're. One of the main things that I've always told myself, and this was a limiting belief of mine for a long time, and I think it was about 3 years, 2019, where I really just was like, this was a saying that it was like a mantra that I had on my. I don't know if you guys know what these are, but sometimes we'll write sticky notes with little things we remind ourselves about, and I put them on my bathroom mirror, so I see it every morning, first thing in the morning. And one of my main mantras, obviously, was I had. Collaboration over competition, right? Work with people, not against people. It's not you versus the world. There's always good collaboration to be had, people to learn from, even, the person who you least expected, there's something to learn from. But then the one I had below that was my success is dependent on no one but me.
Damn.
Because it was I don't need a lucky break. I don't need a shout out. I don't need someone to post me on their page. I don't need someone to send me a favor, send me a client. I was I am solely dependent on myself. And this is not saying that I'm a self-made man or because no one is.
Yeah.
It's not saying don't get support, but it's saying you have 100% ownership of your success. You are 100% accountable for your success, and it stops you from hyper-focusing on certain relationships or certain opportunities as the only way you're going to be successful. If you're dude, I just need this sponsorship and then I'm set, you're putting your success in someone else's fucking hands, and that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
When you take it back and you say, dude, I'm the only person responsible for my success. If this business partner leaves, if this sponsorship drops, if this company, drops me, if I, lose this, if I fall out of this relationship, if you give that the power over your success, then you're literally handing your goals and your opportunities to someone else. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
If you want to be successful, take ownership of it. Everything.
Yeah.
Your failures, your mistakes, even things that you can't control, just own them and be dude, I could have done something else to avoid that. And so that was one thing that I really, really focused on. My success is solely dependent upon myself, and so I have to earn it. And then it comes back to this, like, so, okay, I want support from people. I have to earn their fucking support.
Yeah.
You know, I want more followers. I have to earn my fucking followers. I have to earn this income. I want more sales calls. I've got to earn the right to get on the phone with these people by providing them value, right? And so there are different ways to do all these things. There's different avenues to go down. There's different ways to earn these things. But at the end of the day, it has to be earned, not given.
Did he? Did he actually?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I heard something, but I
I thought it was his nails. Just
Yeah, I
like
think it was
walking
his
on
nails. Yeah.
the- Yeah.
It's only been like 45 minutes, so
Yeah.
he shouldn't have peed yet. But dude, yeah, like about the fuck, I forgot what you said. But
Earn, not given.
yeah, and then fuck, you talked a little bit about a code.
Oh, the mantra.
No. Like
Like
Give power
don't give power to like a code or something. Like,
yeah,
expect
like
your
dude,
success to be there.
that right there is the biggest limiting belief, especially in the fitness industry. They're like, just once I get that young LA code, I'm set. And it's like, dude, literally, the
Or even followers.
like,
Yeah.
or they're like, dude, once I get to 10K followers, I'll be set. And it's like, dude, it does not work like that.
No.
I'm sorry, all the people that are think that the young LA code is gonna get you rich. It's a harsh reality. You're getting 10% of that clothing. You're getting
Yeah.
about $5 off a T-shirt, homie.
Yeah.
But not only that, if you really think about it, it was one man who created a brand that was so powerful that other people wanted to do it. Imagine if you did the exact same thing and it was your brand and your company and it was so powerful
Yeah.
to do that. You're going to now be hiring people to use your,
Exactly.
to buy your shit.
Yeah.
And you make 90%, not 10%.
Exactly.
And that's
Right?
the worst part is like people think that. Oh, thanks. People think that like, oh, dude, I need to get as big as Sush so I can get the sponsorship. And I'm like, if you get as big as Sush and you're getting that kind of engagement, if you have 50, 60,000 people liking your photos, why the hell would you sell them something you only get 10% of?
Why would you work for someone else?
Yeah, if you did all the work to get there, why are you going to hand that off?
Yeah.
And most people, it's because they just don't know better.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you right now, if you're getting into the industry, no matter what industry it is, because every single industry is built the same way, do it for yourself. You can work with sponsors. You can get into the game. You can learn it for yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like, don't be like disillusioned. Like, you're not gonna like it, and then you're gonna look back and be like, damn, dude, I've pushed all these customers to this code. I could have been pushing them to an ebook of mine, a course, a free community where then I sell them something on the back end. Like, when you take it into your own hands, you bring the power back to you, and you're gonna enjoy it way more. These people, like, you look at them, these people who use codes forever. People who've been with a company for a really, really long time. First of all, there's like I can count on like two hands, like people who have been with fitness companies for like 10 years.
Yeah.
5 to 10 years. They all start doing their own thing, right?
Yeah,
Look at like everyone's
always.
like, oh, like David Lay, dude, like he's with the Gymshark forever. Dude, he launched his own pre-workout that he gets like the majority of. Why? Because he was sick of only getting a percentage from Gymshark. Like everyone comes to the same realization. The sooner you come to it, the sooner you generate your own income, the richer you get, the more success you get, and the more fulfillment you get because it's your fucking thing.
And the only time like collaborating with another company could be beneficial is if you don't want to go into that niche or don't want to do that, right? It's like, okay, I know I never want to do clothing. Like, I mean, I'm doing clothing, but just saying, and like, if you know you don't want to become a clothing brand, like your main focus is e-learning, or your main focus you want to do a supplement company, or you want to help grow. I mean, there's so much shit out. Like, there's like little niches that honestly people still haven't figured out yet. Like, there's so much new jobs and stuff going on, things you can sell. It's good to collaborate because then you're like, oh, I have a really loyal following. I know if people work out, they're gonna need supplements. I know I'm not gonna make my own supplement company, so might as well just make 10%. You're basically investing in that company to make 10% of that company or that sale. So it can be beneficial then, but don't be that the only reason as to why if you think you're gonna make money, because it's not. It's like you're your own success and you're the only one that can make money. And if you learn how to do it,
Yeah.
you can just keep repeating that process and keep making money. And it's like, oh, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like people are too scared to drop out of college or take that gap year. And I'm like, if you can make a $200 sale or a $300 sale, a $50 sale, why can't you do it again?
Yeah.
And like, if you do it once, and that's whenever I had my lowest months. I know I'm like kind of scatterbrained, but I had my lowest months. That was one thing I reminded myself. I'm like, well, shit, like I've already done it. Like, why can't I just keep doing it? Why would I even give up now? Because then everything else I did prior to this is just not even worth it.
It's not irrelevant. I mean, if you give up, it's not relevant.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that was
it's like, yeah,
cool. That was the best part of my life.
Yeah.
That was the best part of my life. And then
I
gave up.
used to do this and then I gave up. That's gonna be your story, loser.
Dude, that's the
Like,
worst
literally.
thing It's like, dude, The worst thing is, the fact is, everything in your fucking life and your business is figure outable. And so if you quit, you just gave up because you're a little bitch who wouldn't figure it out. Like, that's all it comes down to. Like, if you got a problem, and that's why, dude, like, I get pissed because people are like, oh, dude, like my leads dried up, or oh, I just, I ran out of reach. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't.
Yeah.
You just don't pivot. Like, yeah, it worked for 2 months, and then it stopped working.
In front of our eyes. You don't run out of leads.
Do you know how many new kids enter the fitness industry daily?
Yeah.
Like thousands of them.
Thousands.
On a daily basis. And you know what they all want to know? How to put on some muscle, how to get better. And you know what they have? $50 for an ebook.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't sell them a $1,000 a month course, but there's something there. So, you're struggling, dude, figure it out. If something's not working, figure it out.
Yeah.
Look up a solution. Hire someone to help you do that. Like, how many times have you guys had a problem where you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, and you get stuck for a while, then we hop on a call, and we figure it out in the call, we implement it, and then the next month you're like, oh, yeah, I'm up like 20, 50%. Like, it happens all the time.
Happened last month. Happens damn near every single week.
Yeah. But that's the point. It's like, that's all entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship defined is you are solving other people's problems for profit at scale. That's literally what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
You are a problem solver for other people. You do it to make some money, and you do it in a way that you can scale. If you can get those 3 aspects down, you'll be a millionaire.
Yeah.
You find a problem, you solve that solution, you do it repeatably, and you make sure that you're doing it in a way that you're generating revenue for yourself. If you can do that and repeat it over and over again and keep solving new problems that come up in your business, that come up in your market, there's nothing that can stop you. And you look at these guys who are serial entrepreneurs, why do they keep going to different industries? Why do they keep adding stuff to the portfolio? Because they cracked the code.
Yeah.
They realized, oh, I can solve a problem, put in some processes that allow me to make a good profit on it and scale it without all my time being eaten up in it. And once I set that and automate it with the right people, I can do it again somewhere else.
Yeah.
Nothing's new here. It's just knowing the systems. And then once you do that, you look at things and you're like, dude, I thought the only way to get rich was to, sell supplements and, get really big on TikTok and then I get a McLaren. It's like, dude, that's like a great way to start. But then once you do it a couple times, you're like, oh, well, there's all these other industries that I can get into. And it expands your mind to be like, I was looking at this little tiny microcosm of a niche. And if I learn how to master that, I can branch out so far.
Yeah.
So figure out your fucking problems.
Yeah. But also, I just wanted to circle way back about the code usage. We're not saying don't get a code. We're just giving y'all the reality of, like, you're not going to make a whole lot of money. And, like, unless you have a substantial, big following, like,
And your name is your brand.
Yeah.
If you build that, great.
Yeah.
Utilize it. You can make a lot of money. But make sure you're expanding your mind where you can go to any other industry and learn how to do it.
And make
keep
sure
repeat
you're
that process.
enjoying it, too. If you think you're going to get a code because it's going to gain you a lot of stats and you don't really even, like, care about the brand, you just like what it's attached to it, learn from my mistake, because I fucking did that, and now I don't want to work with anybody else except myself.
Yeah.
Literally.
Imagine, can you think of the person's code you used, 2 years ago? That is so, people don't stay with companies for long. And if you think that's going to be your only way to make a lot of money, you're not, it's such a short time frame. You're only going to have that code for 2 to 5 years, realistically, unless you're with the company for way longer, for the rest of your life. But thinking of the grand scheme of things, do you really think you're going to have that code from now until you die and you're going to make a substantial amount of money until then? Realistically, I don't think so. So it's you have to learn how to make money other ways besides that code. And
it's super dangerous because if you get accustomed to making a ton of income from a code because you're the hot thing this year on social media, when you start to taper off, if you have raised your level, your standard of living to where you're paying a lot per month for cars and a nice apartment, you're always buying fancy clothes, especially if you finance stuff and you still have those payments recurring, you didn't buy it in cash from the launches, but you bought it, you put that down payment down and then you're paying $2,500, $30,000 a month for a Lambo or something, and you drop off from popularity, dude, you lose everything if you're not putting anything back in your bank. So it's you have no security, right? You are at the mercy of the company staying popular, which, let's be honest, guys, when I started in this industry, it was Gymshark and Nike. And then Alphalete came and mirrored Gymshark. And guess what? Neither one of them are super dominant anymore. Alphalete's pretty dominant, but now you look, it's Raw, Young LA. Do you know what these companies did? They just copied who was ahead of them, and within 3 years, they make a rise. In 3 years from now, Raw and Young LA, they'll probably still be around, but they won't be dominant. It'll be something new.
Unless they do,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Go
Unless
ahead.
they do something like Alphalete. Alphalete is running bodybuilding shows.
Yeah.
They just opened a huge ass gym
Yeah.
with their own personal store, and then they're going to open up other stores in there, and they're going to build a pool. They have so many other plans, and they're going outside of just the clothing company because they realized if they did just the clothing company,
They won't last.
They wouldn't last. They're not going to last that 5 years because Young LA came up, and now they're the hottest thing. And the Raw Gear came up, and like they're like, yeah.
Dude,
I've
I've worked with, like, my training partner. He ran Golden Aesthetics with Artemis Dolgan, and he knows the back end of these businesses, dude. Everyone uses the same tech packs. They're all doing the same launches. You're literally, if you buy clothing, especially back in the day, if you bought clothing from Gymshark or Alphalete, it was the same exact T-shirt with a different logo on it. Yeah. If you buy Young LA Raw Gear, you're buying the same exact piece of clothing with a different logo on it, and maybe a semi-different design. But it's the same fabric from the same Chinese distributor.
It's funny because like I got my own clothing company or like tried it and stuff. I went to go purchase like what I wanted to try out. They literally had the Gymshark athlete photos on it without the Gymshark logo. So it was that exactly. I could purchase it.
It's that easy. Yeah. If you wanted to literally make your own Gymshark line, you could go online, find them. You can find them on Alibaba. You can find the supplier, and you can even, there's a special tech pack site where you can see the tech packs that they've created, so you can see what's coming out. If you are someone who's like been with a company like my partner was, who is like, seeing the inside, he's got access to that portal, he can look in, see the tech packs, see what's coming out. And you could easily just be like, dude, I want to just slap Ian Nottage on all these things instead of a Gymshark logo. You could launch the same exact launch.
Material, everything.
Same material, colors, everything. None of it's proprietary.
Yeah.
Just with your name on it.
Yeah. And that's it, the brand of the name. And remember Jed North? Shoot.
It's still around, dude. That was
VQ Fit.
One of the only companies I was ever sponsored by. They're all fast fashion, too. They're just like new launch, new launch, new launch, new launch. They never hold inventory. Yeah. So there are all these different models and stuff, but it's literally all coming from like 2 Chinese suppliers. Anyone can do it. So it's literally who's the best at marketing, because all the products are basically the same.
And I feel like those companies are kind of like falling off a little bit. Like no one really wears Vanquish or VQ Fit.
Yeah. No, it was just what major athlete was sponsored by them. Back in the day, you had a bunch of guys like Logan Franklin and like Jeremy Buendia and stuff like on these teams. And then when they jump to a new team or they figure out, dude, why am I can launch my own company, sell the same exact stuff, make my own logo. Why am I working for VQ when I could do my own? Then a new company pops up, and then they hire all their friends, hire all their fellow athletes, and that's hot for 2 or 3 weeks. And then maybe it busts open for a year or 2. Yeah. And then it dips off when someone else figures it out. Yep. So it's really hard. Like you either have to jump around codes or start your own thing. I think it's just better to start your own thing.
Yeah. Bet on yourself.
Back to me?
Yeah, back to you.
All right.
Take it back.
Let's get out of the whole code space.
Yeah, no, I think we need to go.
We really went hard on the code.
We're gonna
also no disrespect to anyone who uses codes. Like it is a good way to generate revenue. It connects you with the industry. Like I want to do like 3 positives about codes before we go off. So
let's do some positives.
Really connect you with the industry. Put you in touch with people. And if you're trying to get your name out there, it is a good way to network. So don't think of it as I'm making a lot of money. Think of it as I'm getting to network with the team, meet cool people, learn about new ideas, maybe start businesses or ideas with them. Mm-hmm. It's also going to give you a little bit of social proof, so people will be like, oh, okay, especially if you have a good code. If you work really hard and have a good code, absolutely going to give you a little bit of social proof, make you seem more reputable in your brand name. Someone comes on your page, they see you've got a couple codes, you're going to be like, oh, this person knows what they're doing. They've been in the industry a while. And then lastly, third, I would say is, it's going to get you free clothing. It's going to lower some of your expenses. Like if you really love the product, like I said, like I was telling you guys off camera, like Alphalete would be the one thing I'd ever be sponsored by because I just truly love their products. I buy their products whether or not they would, give them to me for free or something. I would always support that. And I have since like it launched back in like 2016. Like I remember watching Christian's first videos. So like for me, it's like I'm personally tied to that brand and I enjoy it. And, if I, was able to get free, even just free clothing and to be able to support a brand that I really liked, that's meaningful to me. So if it was something that was meaningful to you, a brand that you'd followed for a long time, it was a lifelong goal, that's also helpful. Yeah. So those are 3 positives that I see with codes. Yeah. But I would never see it as a business move. It's more of a networking and personal fulfillment goal.
Yeah.
Building your brand. That's building your name and your brand. But back.
Yeah. 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 I'm never gonna, I don't think I'm ever gonna work for another company with codes anymore.
I think you will. It'll be good.
I don't know.
Really? I like to.
I'm kind of already talking to Will about starting all my own shit.
I mean, that's great. And that can be great, right? I think supplements. It's good to give to clients if they need it, right? So have to know that you're working with a good company.
If you can provide value to your community, then if you partner with them, that can be cool. You can be like, hey, I can get you discounts on it. Yeah. But then too, it's like if you in-house the supplements, then you can just make it part of your coaching package. I did that. I launched my own. I launched FAM supplements, and I had a base stack of like pre-workout, protein, and stuff. And I just told people, hey, if you buy my VIP package, you get free supplements for the entire 4 months you're with me.
I wanted to talk to you about that because
just build it into the cost of the program. So, if you know your product costs you maybe $160 for a stack, you raise your price by, $200, and then you're making a little bit extra money, plus your clients get a really, really good add-on to their program, so they don't have to worry about, I go out and buy $700 of supplements from GNC. It's like, no, I'll give you the exact stack you need, the exact stack I want you to take,
cool.
and it's a formula that I created and a product line that I started.
Damn, that's pretty cool. Definitely, maybe down the
So that was
road.
a pro tip. That was,
Yeah.
You usually got to pay for this.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was a hustle smarter type tip. That's what we talk in our
Yeah.
one-on-ones.
Inside the best.
That's why I didn't give you the mic. I'm like,
but-
this can't be spread on the internet.
Cover them. Damn.
They may have not even heard it, honestly. May have just been
probably
muffled.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably, no, these pick up pretty well.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna give you the steps of how to do that.
You wouldn't know how to do it. And
Join
also
Hustle
they
Smart.
need access to a product line. So I have
Yeah.
a product line.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you
that's
want access
fair.
to a product line, join Hustle Smart.
And-
I'll hook you up.
And you have to have an online coaching service, and yeah.
You got to build some stuff up first.
Yeah. So more entrepreneurship talk. So what was the first year you and Maria did your first million? Because I don't even think I know that story.
I think it was 2020. I think we're on our third year.
Oh, really?
So I think 2020. I think we just hit a mil. Mm-hmm. We did like one.
How much did you pocket from that, if you don't mind me asking? Did you pocket anything?
Off the
Or
top-
did you just pay expenses and that's it?
No, I think we pocketed stuff. I think it was somewhere around like 400K.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was
think
not
we-
expecting that
yeah,
much.
I think it was like a 30%. We took home about 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause,
Damn.
you need like we had to cover some living expenses and stuff. And actually,
Dude.
you know what? I don't think we took home that much in 2020. We took home that much in 2021, I think.
Yeah. Do you have a big team then, or not that many?
It's evolved over the years. Sometimes it was bigger, sometimes it was smaller. Like we didn't have, like for a lot of our stuff, we had mentorship. We didn't have like the kind of mentorship we like provide now. Like I've like, because I've trialed and errored a bunch of stuff. Like we built really big sales teams really fast that like didn't work. So sometimes
Yeah.
our team's like 40 fucking people.
Gotcha.
And other times it was like ideal like A+ team of 12 people. So right now we're kind of like ideal team of A+ people, and then we contract in other people who help with like other departments, and they're contracted employees instead of just like in the company. But it was probably, I think the first time we hit a million, we had a really big team, but then we had issues. So we were like,
Gotcha.
okay, we can't scale past this. So then we had to literally rework it and make it streamlined. And then the next year we did like a million again, or like $1.5 million. And it was like, okay, now we like reworked it, and this is a scalable $1.5 million. And then this year we'll probably do like, I don't know, somewhere between like 1.5 to 3. I don't know exactly where we'll end. And we
Yeah.
like got a lot of, it's really variable because a lot of the teams we've implemented, like it could scale quickly. Like out of nowhere, we could bust out like a 300K month. So it's
Yeah.
like a lot of times it's like, you just don't know. So, but I would project we'd end where somewhere around. Yeah, and that's just one of the companies. We have multiple companies. So you can also like, if you understand like different products, you can stack these ideas and these teams in different industries. So that's just on our main GCN company. Yeah.
How many companies are you like tapped into, and like what
Working with Wise or like equity Wise?
Yeah, working with. I mean, both.
Okay, working with Wise, like close to 20.
20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm tapped into your guys' as well,
Yeah.
but that's like working with. But getting profit from, equity from, like that's just consulting. Because I'm consulting with you guys, you don't pay me any equity.
Yeah.
That's just like a consulting fee. That would be like the Hustle Smarter fee.
Okay.
But tapped into equity wise, I think I'm at 4 now with the
Okay.
with the new Airbnb one. I'm at 4.
So the other 16. So you're just kind of like investing into them.
No, I consult with them. So I'm technically a consultant on the company, but I wouldn't say that I'm really in those companies. I really just consult for them. Like I'm not in Embrace the Journey or
Yeah.
Better Than Before. I'm a consultant for them.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you just okay, great.
Yeah,
Makes
so I
sense.
touch a lot of like 6-figure and 7-figure companies, but I have equity or like direct ownership over 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and two of those 4 are 7-figure companies, and the other 2 of those 4 are 6.
Dang.
Yeah,
I have a cool question that just came up.
yeah, go for it.
So for like me and Ian, for instance, what would be a part in me and Ian's journey where you would want to be like, yo, if I help you with this, I would want equity? Would that ever happen, you think?
I mean, it definitely could be. It would probably be for like different aspects, right? So if you open different product lines for your business, right? So if you said, okay, I've got Better Than Before coaching, but I want a lot of help with like Better Than Before supplements.
Yeah.
I've got a product line and access to all that. So I'd say, hey, I'll give you access to my product line manager, the graphic design department. I've done all the hard work. I'll help you set it up and we'll split it 70-30. And then that way, you have control over all the decisions, this and that, and I'll just give you access to the team that I've built up and the processes I have in place. Like that
Gotcha.
would be something I could do. But like other stuff like clothing or something, I'm basically gonna be like, dude, don't let anyone take equity from you on something like that.
Yeah.
If you need something where you need infrastructure and it's going to cost you a lot to get it,
Yeah.
then maybe partner with an operator who can provide that for some equity. But if you can do something from the ground up on your own, you don't really need me. Just hire me for a consultant fee.
Yeah.
Don't give me equity.
Yeah.
Because then I'm just going to be stealing money from you down the road. Because
gotcha.
once you got it started, you don't need my help after that for
Yeah.
those. But like with stuff with infrastructure, it's like you rely on the product line for the continuation of the brand. You know, have that, and then always make it renegotiable. Be like, hey, yeah, we're gonna like partner on this, and it's 30% equity. I don't know why I'm telling you this because I'm literally gonna like give you a way out of my deal, but yeah, be like, partner with me. I don't like doing unethical stuff, so I like to try to be as fair as I can to the people I work with. But it's like partner with me and be like, hey, on a year-to-year basis, we renegotiate equity based on how much you're helping me with the company. So in the first year, it might be 30% because I'm really helping with the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And then within another year, you might be like, hey, you know, I've got enough money to kind of like afford my own product line and my own people, and I kind of want to reinvest more back into the business. And you taking 30% is hurting that. So can we drop you to like 10%, or could I even just hire you for a consultant fee from here on out? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, and that way, when it's renegotiable on a year like that, like not a lot of people will agree to that usually because like if you're a venture capitalist, like you want to be paid on the back end for the upfront work. So like your 30% like retainer or equity is like that's how they make their money. But when I'm working like directly with people, like I don't like to like feel like I'm a leech on the back end. Like I'll help you on the front end, I'll help you scale, I'll take like the little bit of the 30%. Then as you grow, I want you to ideally like work me out of it because I don't want to just sit there and take money from you for especially like little things like that. And then bigger ideas, like if you have like a really big business idea that you wanted me to go in on, we could partner up and do like a 51-49 split where it's like you still have control of the company and ownership and you can make all the decisions without having to ask me. But because I'd be like literally partnering with you to launch it, we'd have like a more like static equity split like that and it wouldn't be like renegotiable.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
You have another question?
No, I mean just if you had one, you can go first.
Okay.
You know.
I have a pretty loaded question because I bet a lot of people want to know this.
The money, is it more like the money? I think we're in the money talk now.
Yeah,
that's
we're in the money talk.
I think
now.
a statement though before you go into it, like I think like Will's character, it literally speaks for itself as like what he does and like literally what he just said, and I think that kind of speaks with people who are well-rounded people, but also seven-figure earners, and like you would have never guessed it. And I think that's like the really cool part is the people I've met through Will and just like the people I'm surrounded by, like they've made more money in my like that I've ever seen before. Like people around me haven't made that much before, but like the most genuine people and like want to help you. So like people who are scared to be surrounded by it, or if you're struggling with being surrounded by the right people, find people like Will, like find somebody, because that's who's really going to support you, and you're just stuck around a bunch of people who are not stay broke and not have dreams and not pursue them, and that's it. And it might be harsh, and I'm sorry, but I don't really care. I don't want to have a filter on this podcast, but that's the hard truth.
Yeah. All right, so the money talk, real quick, because I bet a lot of people are going to want to know this. What is the most amount of money you have seen in your checking account?
Ooh, this is fun.
I know how, like, we talk about it a lot. I know how much you keep in it now.
Yeah.
But that's not a lot. So, because you have other stuff to put it in. But, like, before now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
if you want to share
I
it.
like to be fully transparent. So first off, I want to say, like, first of all, like, people's value has nothing to do with money, like, at all. So, like, listen to these numbers, let them inspire you, but, like, don't think you're any less if, like...
Our camera died. Question was, how much money... what's the most amount of money you have had in your checking account? Savings account doesn't count.
Okay.
More investments.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So I think, like I said, before I answer, like, the value that you have in your bank account, like, means nothing about who you are as a person. Like, I've met a lot of people who are broke, who are fantastic people. I've met a lot of people who have a ton of money in their checking account, and they're terrible people. So I don't think it's a really good indicator of, like, who you are, if someone should listen to you. Maybe you should listen to about money advice, but you never know. So, you know, I like to look deeper into people before I make those kind of decisions. But with that caveat being said, probably surprising, I think the most amount of money I've ever seen in my checking account is $20K.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very intentional about keeping money out of my account. And now I have like a metric where I try to never have more than 5 to 10K in.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spend it on
that's what
stupid shit. Like, I want my card to get declined if I'm buying too much. Like, I want it to come back and be like, because I know how much I should be spending.
Yeah.
And like my bills, like, I know when they're coming out, so I'll just, you know, I have a paycheck that goes in on recurring like every week. So I know, like, oh, when rent's coming out, like, my rent's pretty high. Like, my rent's in the 5 figures range. So like when it comes out, like, I know to have enough money in there. But I try to always keep it like at 5K or lower. Sometimes I'll let it climb to like 10. But that way it's like, you know, if I'm making stupid purchases or something, or I'm not thinking. Oh. Good. Yeah, if I'm making. Oh, okay. if I'm making stupid purchases or something, like my card's gonna get declined, and I'm like gonna be embarrassed, like that my card got declined because I'm trying to buy dumb stuff. So I also do it because I don't want my money losing out to inflation. And if it's just sitting in your account and you're not spending it on things that it needs to be spent on to like keep your normal daily life where it needs to be at, then there's no point to have it there. So I put most of my money into like money market funds, mutual funds, and then a lot of it into like insurance stuff, which I know it sounds complex, but like I could get into that later. But like I put most of my money into like insurance-backed securities.
That's actually really surprising. Because
Yeah.
I know.
I was honestly expecting that.
I
kind of
know
answer
now-
because of what like you've kind of told me about like you're just like you're telling me that your accountant like sometimes you're like, oh shit, I need money because this is coming out, like can you wire me some money?
Yeah.
But I think that's the way to live. Like
Yeah.
I think that's because
I think so,
tell you
too.
what, a lot of my money does not sit in my checking account. It goes back in my business.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's where it is like into assets that are. I know the ROI is gonna be so much greater than just sitting in my checking account, and I think just one thing I'm fortunate is like to have like I at ease of like I know I can still afford my food and stuff, but I live very minimal. So it's like
And I want to say something to that as well. It's like when I said earlier, like you know, like oh, we could have like a big month where it blows up to like 300K. Like we average in like a couple 100K per month, but like very little of that is like what we're actually going to take home, right?
Yeah.
Like that adds up to a couple million a year. But like I said, like my profit per year, like I've never actually taken home in a year $1 million in cash. So I wouldn't even consider myself, like I say I'm a 7-figure earner, I don't call myself a millionaire because I've never held like $1 million. Like I don't know if I added up, I might be a millionaire if I add up like all my assets and things that I hold. I don't technically know, but I just call myself a 7-figure earner because I've never had a year where I profited and took home into my own accounts like $1 million. So I think there's a difference there. I think a lot of people kind of flex like, oh, I made all these sales, and it's like, well, what was your profit on that? Like you could be selling something with like a 10% margin, so you made 100K this year. You didn't make $1 million. So I think that's important. But like, yeah, when I say these big numbers, it's like the reason why these numbers are this big is because I got in the habit of putting like as much of it as possible, like 60, 70, 80, 90%, like back into the business every single month. And when you get used to living like that, then you know, okay, like I'm growing the 10%. And like that's what I'm living off of. And I know guys who are like at even a higher level, they live off of even like a smaller percentage of their of like the amount of money they make. Yeah. Because they just know like, what am I gonna spend it on? Like really stupid stuff? Or am I gonna put it somewhere it's gonna grow slowly and give me security?
Yeah.
And so there's like so many different ways. And then like the best part, this is like a little finance hack, is like if you're putting it into like things that like appreciate in value, whether it's like a security-backed IUL or like real estate, you don't actually have to take that money out. Like because that money is in an asset that you own, you take a loan out against it. So like when people buy cars the right way,
That's something Grant Cardone preaches a lot, right?
yeah, they literally like you could take out 80% of a loan out of the equity of your home, or you could take out a loan against the cash value of one of your IULs, and then like you're literally creating money out of the money you've saved.
Yeah.
So it allows you to double it, and then you pay it back to yourself, and it's tax free.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of these like as you get higher and higher, you learn how to be smart with money. But it starts with if you're making 10K a month, try to live on $1,000 to $2,000.
Yeah.
Like don't live like you're making 10K a month because then it's gonna get really frustrating too. Because you're gonna be like, oh, dude, like I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. It's like, dude, that was your fucking choice. Like you could be living like a king, and maybe you up it to like $3,500 a month, and you're like, dude, I cover my rent, I eat out whenever I want. And like you still save a good chunk and you put like 5K back into the business every month. Like you'll feel so much better about your journey if you're smart with your money.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the reason why you're buying shit is to prove stuff to people. And so if you just like say, fuck, I don't care what other people think, I want to feel really comfortable and financially secure, then you're gonna be happy and you walk around and you're like, okay, like I look like a hobo, but dude, I don't have to worry. I feel confident in who I am, what I'm doing, and I know that like I've created security for myself because I'm frugal.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. So when you see these big numbers, don't think like, oh, I'm out here buying a fucking yacht. Like,
Yeah.
I have a nice car, but I bought that car in like the third year making $1 million.
Yeah.
So, like, and it's like tears down from like the car I could have bought because I didn't want to be stressed.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest thing is like, at the end of the day, like, do you either want to be stressed because you're trying to impress other people, or you just want to be happy with your life and feel comfortable and secure? And it's like, it's really up to you.
yeah.
I mean, that just surprised me because I thought there may have been like 1 year where you slipped up and you had like fucking 400K in your checking or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now like we've already talked at like how much you taking your checking now. So I was like, there has to be like one time where there's like over 100K or something.
I'll keep 100K in a savings fund. Like usually like in our joint account, we'll just keep 100K in the savings fund at all times. And then if something comes up, we'll usually just like transfer it from the savings fund instead of like getting wired in more money. And then we'll just build back up the savings fund to try to keep it at 100 at all times. And then it's nice because it's like, okay, like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, like in the pool of all my assets, like 100K is not a ton.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
it's
No, it's like such an
sad.
asshole thing to say though, but
It isn't.
Yeah.
Like people think it is,
Yeah.
and it's really not. Like you're still gonna live paycheck to paycheck.
yeah, but
That's
like,
it.
dude, stuff comes up where I'm like, oh, dude, like we're having a kid, and so I was like, dude, I want to still be able to work, and so does Maria, and so we're like, dude, it's really important to us that like we have the ability to work and have time, but still see and spend time with our baby. So we were like, what did nannies look like? And they're really expensive. So having that 100K buffer, we're like, okay, we can take out like $20,000, $30,000 to have like a night nanny. Nice. We can take out $20,000 or $30,000 to have like a night nanny and a day nanny who help throughout the day. And obviously, I still want to be there for my daughter and spend a ton of time with her. But having that will allow me to keep my mental sanity, get the work done that needs to get done. And I wouldn't have that opportunity if I wasn't smart and
grow
have
the
one of these
business.
savings funds. Yeah.
Boom.
So like, that's what it's there for. It's not there to be like, oh, today I feel like going and buying a $100,000 car. I'm going to liquidate my entire savings fund.
No,
It's
100,
it's
100K
literally
is
there.
not a lot of money. And
Yeah.
people need to realize it's really not. Like, okay, we have a 7-figure earner here. Like, and yeah, you don't keep that much in your checking.
No.
You don't
No.
like you guys don't really. I mean, take home, I guess. a
Yeah,
good
I think
amount, but it's
between
like-
everything, we usually don't spend more than $20,000 in a month. And that's between rent, car payments, all of our eating out, all of our different expenses, all of our travel, all insurance, all these different things. And we live in California, so like that's inflated. Like if we lived in like Texas or something, we probably wouldn't spend more than like $13,000 a month with a really high rent.
crazy.
And I mean, rent is the majority of that. Rent is like 70% of my expenses because I wanted to live somewhere where it was nice and my vibes were high and I really felt like, you know, positive all the time. So like being on a house right on the coast where I get to look out the ocean and stuff like that meant a lot to me.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And that's, 100K is not a lot of money. That's all I'm saying. 100K a year is not a lot of money. Their business doing upwards of 300K in 1 month. Like, and even then it's like
Not always. I would say average is like in the hundreds.
hundreds.
Yeah, we have months where it can do that much.
Yeah.
But like the average is in the hundreds.
And yeah, no, it's crazy. Crazy. I just don't think it's a lot of money. That's it. But my eyes have definitely been like open too. Because I feel like in the beginning, I was like, man, 100K a year, that's like, I could do a lot with that. But now
I remember when me and Ian were still at our hometowns and we said, dude, we just need 5K. We just need to make 5K.
Yeah.
Every single
it would
month,
be
and
set.
we'll be so set.
Like,
for
we'll
the rest
live-
of our life.
Yeah, we'll be great. I'm like, I get to 5K and I'm like, fuck, I need
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I'm like,
we get
I
to
need
5K
more.
and we're like, fuck, man. I am so dead broke. It's insane.
But it's because like if we really break down our expenses and like we have to liquidate our company and whatever happens, like realistically, our expenses, like true living expenses, maybe come out to like $1,500
Yeah,
a month.
$1,500.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
like that is.
Yeah, because you're still looking at it as like one entity. You're not looking
Yeah.
at it as like my business and then my personal income. You're still
Yeah.
kind of like it's all somewhat together.
Yeah. And so like it's only like $1,500, maybe upwards of $2,000 depending on what I do per month. And after that it's all business.
Yeah.
Like it's all business expenses.
Yeah.
So like making 10K a month is really not like that much. But
I just want to reiterate something really fast because we're still on the money topic. None of us do what we do for the money, just to make that very, very, very clear. Money is a metric of how our business does, but we don't do what we do for the money.
it's a resource we can utilize to live, make sure we have we can at least keep doing what we love, which is I love helping people, which I've coached people for free, multiple people for free.
Same.
I coach people when they still can't afford my coaching, but I see the true vision of what they're going to accomplish and the impact they're going to have. I'm like, dude, just stay in my program. I don't care. I've coached a guy for 4 months for free because of the person he is and the change it's having in his life. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's like the purpose, right? It's
Yeah.
like they put in the work, and that's who I like working with. And so it's not always about the money, but it's just a resource we need to keep the business alive so everybody can change their life. And that's, we don't do it for the money. If we did it for the money, I would be so burnt out right now.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
Yep.
I wouldn't want to do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yep.
The whole point of the money is you want to give yourself a better life, not a more stressful life.
Yeah.
So if you accumulate a bunch of stuff to make yourself look cool, you make more stress. Like I use my money to solve problems in my life that deliver me stress or make my life more complicated. Like money buys you freedom. Like when you use it correctly, that's what it does. Like, I got a puppy and everyone's like, how the heck are you going to manage a puppy while you're, having a kid and stuff? And so, I also hired a dog sitter and they come over and like, she gets paid really well. It's like $1,000 a week. Like it's not cheap, but she works 9 to 5. She works 9 to 5. Takes the dog out for me, and then she was so good. She like became my personal assistant. So she books my trips, books my travel, helps me manage my like all my different stuff, and does laundry for us and like just really really cool. Where it's like all these
need one of
things-
those.
Yeah,
But we
So it's
can't afford that.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, I could have a Lambo. Or I could be like, hey, I don't have to worry about like washing and folding all my clothes today. I don't have to worry about, getting up out of this Zoom call to go, take Charlie out to the bathroom. And I was like, that's the kind of stuff I spend money on because now my stress is reduced.
Yeah.
And if you get the right people, like we really like enjoy having her around. She's one of our best friends.
Yeah.
And so like, it's really, really cool when you make that switch of like, dude, I don't care what people think about me. I just want to feel like I'm living a comfortable life and I'm stress free.
That's like, when I had my VA and brought her full time, like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's nice. I see her, she sends me a report, everything she did. I'm like, man, that is just so awesome that like, I don't have to do all she gets done. I'm like, man, that would take up my whole day and I couldn't even scale the business past that. I couldn't like grow whatever like that. And I'm gonna look at it, I'm like, man, I could have bought a new car. I drive a fucking shitter, but
That's good, dude. Be proud of that.
engine might blow soon, but
Okay, maybe don't be totally proud of that.
no, it'll last a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, hopefully.
It gets you where you need to
But,
go.
Yeah, it gets me where I need to go. It's a shitter. It's not cute or fun to drive, but it gets me there. And it's like I look at it, like I could have bought a new car, 100%. I could have, but I invested more in the business because it's like that's the mental stress it's taken off of me has been like so nice.
Yeah.
Like it was just I was overworked. I was doing so much. And then when that VA came on, it was just like a fresh breath air of like, okay,
Yeah.
like this is so awesome.
And that's like something that I see a lot of is like, I think there was a study, it basically said incremental revenue after, I think it's something low, like 60 or 80, or probably now with inflation, it's like $100,000. Incremental revenue over $100,000 showed zero increase in quality of life or at least happiness in individuals. And I can confirm this, like, I don't feel any happier now than I did when I was making my first 100K. And so I think I've increased a couple things. So I don't want to like dissuade you guys from making more money. I feel more comfortable. I feel like I've been able to pay for people to help me with a lot of things that, would now be stressful. But back in the day, like laundry was cathartic to me. Like folding my laundry was like a nice little break in my day. And now that I'm busier and I want to do other things, like being able to hire that out's nice. But at the end of the day, like if you are thinking that increasing the amount of money you make will make you happy, you're just going to be sad with a lot of money.
Yeah.
So having a good outlook on it and being like, okay, what brings me fulfillment and joy in my life, and how can I spend my money on those things and not trying to prove something to someone?
Exactly.
That will allow the extra money you make to bring you more joy. And you'll always find more joy in the impact over the income.
Yeah.
Like that's just one of the core pillars. And that's true for me. And then also like what you guys are saying where you're like, oh dude, it's insane. Like, I listen to these numbers, you're like 100K is not a lot of money. But yeah, I used to think it was a ton. Like same for me with like, I'm the poorest of my friends. Like at the higher level with all the people I talk to. Now give it like Maria and I are a little bit younger. Like the friends that we have, I think the youngest friends we have are probably like 35 to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want to like drop names, but I don't know how old they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're like that other couple. They're like I don't know how old they're, but I think they're like early 30s.
Yeah.
And they're doing really, really well. So they're doing like probably like 20 times our revenue, per year. And so all of our friends at that higher level, even if they're older, they do so much. Like $1 million months are like very, very normal.
Yeah.
And like $1 million days are possible. Like I've got friends who've done $1 million in a day. And so for me, it's just like, dude, like I like that feeling because like once again, it's like I'm the small fish. That's why like the first thing I had you guys read in Hustle Smarter was The Big Leap, where it's literally like, don't be the big fish in your pond. Because if I went and lived somewhere where, dude, making a couple million a year makes you like, you're the king of your town, you're never going to grow. But when I'm in my apartment complex and I'm parking my C8 next to a Ferrari and a Urus that my friend drives, and I'm like, dude, like, there's so many more levels.
loser.
Yeah, dude. It's funny. He's got a yellow Urus and a red Ferrari, and I've got a red C8 and a yellow Rubicon. I'm like, dude, I'm like the Costco brand of you. But it's cool because it opens my mind up, and I'm like, I could easily think, oh, I made it. I'm the shit. Like, I'm so cool. But being around these people, it's like, dude, I'm a humble kid just starting. Like, I've got so much to learn, so much to grow from. And I really do know, like, very little. Like, I got good at a couple things, and I know a lot. I truly do know a lot about stuff, but I also know very, very little, like, in the grand scheme of things. And there's so much more to learn, and there's so many more people that I can, you know, spend time with and just get mental jewels from that it's like, your mind gets so expanded around these people. So I always try to be the smallest fish in the sea. I don't like being in an area where it's like, I'm the big dog now. The minute I'm there, I'm like, it's time to go find another room where I can be really small again and start learning from people and try to scrape my way up towards the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once you cover your bills, like honestly, once your bills are covered, anything after that, it's just like, I mean, you just, if you know, I mean, I can go and enjoy Chipotle whenever I want. Like, it's nice. But it's like, there's no joy after that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, once
Yeah.
you earn, like, and I'm not there yet where money doesn't, it's like, you know, I can wipe my ass with it. But it's
Yeah, I know.
like,
yeah, money's still a factor.
yeah,
Big
money's still a
factor.
factor, but there, like, I mean, we live like pretty freely. We don't have to like stress too much, honestly. We just have to know we have to work. We just have to do our work that we normally do, and that's it. And we know if we let ourselves down, then we're like, fuck, money is a problem now.
Yeah.
But it just kind of motivates us to keep going.
Yeah, but the biggest thing about like money doesn't make you happy. I think some people have the wrong deception about that because they're like, because some people on the internet will say like that's bullshit because I've never met like a happy poor person, and I guess like that's like true. I haven't really met a happy poor person. I'll be honest.
So stressed.
But yeah, but it's because
I
there's
think it's a mindset too. I think
Yeah.
that you're not choosing to do things that serve you. And when you don't choose to do things that serve you, you're not going to be a happy person. But it's not the lack of money, it's the lack of a mindset and a goal.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It's like the thing is like most people that have a lot of money or like more money than a poor person is because they're actually doing something they want to do and chase after, and they're not doing it for the money. But if you do something you actually love, then the money's just gonna come because you don't really do it for that. So
That's honestly the reason why I went back to Chick-fil-A, actually, because I was making more money in person, but then I hated where I work. I hated it. I was like, this is literally so miserable, and I went
Really?
back to Chick-fil-A because of the community of people. The owner, he was awesome.
personal
like,
training thing.
Yeah.
Really.
And like I went back to Chick-fil-A. Like I was just like, this
Wow.
is stupid. Because the community and the people I was surrounded by, I was very happy, and I took a huge pay cut.
Yeah.
Like I was going from making like 4 to 5K a month to right under 2,000. And I was like, I mean, I still lived very minimal. I've always lived very minimal, but like I still like really enjoyed it, and I loved the people. I loved the owner. They treated me very well. I had a great time. It was a good time. Like, and I at the time I was like, this is where I want to be. Like, I had some goals where I wanted to do with the business and help them grow and stuff, but I know that wasn't the end goal for me. I know it was just a very temporary thing. So
I also
Yeah.
want to say like I don't want to come off as like someone who's like super humble and like is like, oh, like I'm this super minimalist and I'm like so like ethical and like frugal with my money. Like, dude, there are definitely times where I will go out with my friends and I'll be like, dude, let's spend like $3,500 on a table. I have spent over $3,000 on a table at a club like multiple times. Like, and that's part of it too. Is like don't be a Scrooge. Like, if you've
Yeah.
created some wealth for yourself, don't lock yourself into rules that make it miserable. Like, if there's stuff that brings you joy, like cars. Dude,
Yeah.
buy a nice car.
Yeah.
Like, just do it the
Buy
right
that
way.
fucking exhaust.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
dude.
Buy that turbo.
Put it- yeah, like dude, if that's what you enjoy and it brings you joy,
Yeah.
the money can't come with you. So, if you die with $100 million in the bank, that's $100 million of opportunity that you could have put into things that you love. And if like you love spending time with your family, dude, buy a home where you love to spend time and bring
Yeah.
your family there.
Yeah.
If you love to travel, dude, spend tickets on flying your family and the people you're
Exactly.
closest with around. Take what you're providing value and people are giving you a currency in return. That currency means nothing. It's just, hey, thank you for the value. Here's the currency. Take that and provide value to yourself. Whatever
Yeah.
you value, put it into that and just be responsible so you don't run out of it. Like, at the very simplest terms, it's literally something that allows you to bring value back into your life because you brought value to someone else. And if you die without ever doing that, then you provided a lot of value for essentially free because
Yeah.
it just sits there.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap this, I think
I think
we're.
I'm cashed.
I just got
cashed out.
The last question here is so we just talked a lot about fulfillment because one of the things that I struggled with when I first started my business and stuff like that was I almost like didn't know what to spend my money on because I didn't really know what would make me happy with the extra income I had. Now obviously like I know what makes me happy just to spend my income on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that. But
It's drugs.
Yeah. But did you have that struggle when you first started? You didn't really know what to spend your extra money on because you didn't really know what brought you happiness. You may have bought some stupid shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I bought like a lot of nice clothes at first. Like I was just like, dude, I'm buying the whole Gymshark launch. I'm buying the whole, Alphalete launch. And then I was like, okay, that's cool, but like I don't wear half this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm gonna buy some nice shoes. And I was like, okay, I put a hole in them in like 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
So eventually I was like, I found that the thing that made me the happiest, and to this day, like I still spend a lot of money on this, is I really enjoy my business. I love my business.
Yeah.
And I realized like for my businesses to grow, it's dependent on my skill set. So I just put money in developing my skill set. Like if I want to learn about sales, like I buy a sales course. Like I just recently was like, hey, like I need to build out a sales team and stuff. And so I spent $12,000 to hire a sales coach and a sales team. And I put some of the guys in Hustle Smarter into it, some of our sales coaches. I was like, hey, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to get a membership. I'll bring you guys in. Because I enjoy that. And I enjoy doing it with the people I'm like, with. And, so I brought our head sales coach in. I'm like, hey, I'm going to sponsor you. I'm going to put you in this. I'm going to go join it as well.
Yeah.
And same with like my Airbnb partners. I'm going to put you in this as well. And I was like, dude, that's what I like spending my money on. Most people they're like, dude, maybe I would have bought like a huge vacation or something. But for me, it was like, I like sharpening my skill set. It's the best way to make more money, right? Because I know for a fact there's going to be ROI on the ROI is return on investments. Like the money you make, it means you're going to make more than it by investing that money into it. So like I know that there's like ROI on these things. So I love that because I feel like I'm spending my money for a reason that's going to benefit me, and I feel like, dude, it makes me a better person. Like if you don't have money to spend on like big things like that, start with like books and podcasts and things that will like increase your knowledge and increase your skill set, and then like graduate to like some smaller courses and some larger courses and some really big masterminds and some really big courses that like can build out your entire program. Like, but always like spend your money on skill sets because that's something no one can take from you. Like so I could get my house foreclosed on, my car could be in a wreck, I could get stolen, but no one can take my skill set from me. Like I'm really good at sales, I'm good at marketing, I'm really, really good at structuring businesses. Like these are things, but I learned that because I spent all this time spending money, getting myself around the right people to learn it, getting the right mentors and finding the right courses. So at least for me, and I think if any of you are entrepreneurs, like this is where it's at, like start spending money on things that sharpen your skill set and you'll always feel like it was a good investment. And if it's not, just invest in another one. Don't let a bad investment dissuade you from finding a good one.
Yeah, that's a good saying. Well, I think that wraps it up, but this isn't the last time we're going to have Will on the podcast. Me and Ian are definitely going to fly out to Huntington and
It'd be
shoot
a cooler
a
setup than this shit.
Yeah.
We'll deck it out. We'll bring
Yeah.
Johnny out and we'll get the whole.
Yeah.
We'll actually look like we're in a movie.
Yeah. We'll shoot with him and his wife. They're about to actually have a kid, so we're going to go visit them a couple months after they have it because that's going to be I can't wait to hear the stories of that. Will's going to wake up, she shat on me.
I'll be on the podcast like
How many hours did you sleep last night? 1.
All right, but that's gonna wrap this up. If y'all enjoyed, I don't really care about a like or a sub. Send this to one of your friends that wants to, or is thinking about dropping out of college because this is gonna mean a lot to them. Sub and like if you want, but just share it. That's honestly what I care about.
Honestly, that's
because that's the whole point of this podcast, just to really share like what we've learned.
the
And
money. We're not doing it for views or money either. That's like the big thing. Like we already have our money. What do we call it? Like a money printer.
cow.
Yeah, my cash cow. Like we
Yeah.
we don't need this.
we started this podcast because we wanted a break.
We're
This
just
is
like-
our
this is-
this is our like Saturday fun day.
Yeah, this is just like fun to talk about, right?
Yeah.
It provides value, and we just want people to know about it, and like so people can relate because I feel like not a lot of people understand it. Like it's not always pushed out a lot.
Yeah.
It gets like pushed under, and I don't think enough people are speaking about this. So,
Yeah.
and giving people that opportunity to grow and really see growth.
So that's all we asked, to share with somebody, but that's going to wrap it up. Hope y'all liked it. If y'all want to see Maria in a couple months and Will again, then get this to 1 like and we'll do it.
I'll go like it too. We're out.